Mat time, group time, circle time, no matter what you call it, today we're deconstructing and rethinking it. Hi, I'm Drew from Storypark, and welcome to Mat Time, where we talk about all things early childhood. I'm here with Julie Hansen from North Van. She's an educator there. You want to just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I started my company Inspired ECE a couple of years ago, where I travel around and teach workshops for early childhood educators and family child care providers. And I also am a center supervisor in North Vancouver for Sweet Peas Cottage.
So what do we have here? You were talking a little bit earlier about circle time. Why is circle time an important part of ECE?
It's an important part of our day, and I like to teach workshops for educators about how do we do that? How do we make it possible in our programs? What kind of materials do we need? And how do we bring magical moments during this time of our day to the children within our programs?
And so we have some of those inspiring materials here?
Yeah, I brought a selection of books and different objects like musical instruments, puppets, dramatic play props like sunglasses to the workshops that I was doing today, just to show participants what's possible and how to take one item and make that into so many more activities at circle time or within your program planning.
Mm-hmm. So when you see some of these, can you give me an example? Like when you
Sure.
see some of these materials, like what you talk about the depth in there and the meaning.
Sure. Well, for example, I have a painting here from Emily Carr, and when I was teaching preschool one day, we went for a walk in the woods, and the children were really taken by the trees and the light hitting the trees, and so I thought, how can I incorporate that into our program, especially at our group time? So I brought a selection of paintings of Emily Carr's, and I put them down on the floor, and I asked the children what they thought. And just listening to their responses about the different images, they chose one particular image that they really liked, which was a painting called The Raven by Emily Carr. And it has a raven, and mountains, and the river, and the raven itself in it, and trees. And I said, well, I wonder if we could act this out. I wonder if we could be the trees and the mountains and the raven and the river. And that's what we did. And that was our group time. And the focus was dramatic play. It wasn't the traditional song or finger play or book. And it was so magical. And we all took turns, including myself, being these different parts of the painting. And it lasted for a good 30 minutes. And it was just amazing watching the children become engrossed and engaged and taking on these characters and these items of nature and to see the enjoyment and the just joy in their faces.
And did you know that was going to happen when you
Nope.
placed the...
Nope. And that was the beauty of it. It was a spontaneous, emergent moment that took place, and just following their lead and taking their direction and watching the incredible magic that came from that.
Mm-hmm. And what about books? Because books are always
Sure.
An important part of circle time?
Yes, there's a lot of selections of books here, or large selection, I should say, that I like to use. Like if you take Duck in the Truck, for example, it's a great book because you can talk about animals. You can also talk about transportation. You can do movement in it. There's also animals working together, so you can talk about teamwork in it. There's many aspects to books that you can use, and that they can be used at your circle time. You can read it. You could turn it into a felt board. I have an example of a felt board here as well. So you could take the book and turn it into a felt board, and then you could even act it out as well or tell it as a story.
So is that kind of the idea around rethinking or deconstructing
Yes.
circle time, is looking at it with a different lens?
Yes, thinking outside the box and not having to feel that you have to do something like a book or a song or a finger play. You can do science, you can do dramatic play, you can do art. I've had lovely experiences where I've read a story and then had the children draw or involve the children in drawing out the story into a big mural as I'm reading it or the day after. So incorporating different parts of our curriculum into group times and taking it outside. Do it outside in your play areas. Take it on a field trip. Go to the park and make it accessible throughout the day.
Any other suggestions or I guess strategies in terms of how to take that first step in rethinking and getting outside the box for circle time?
Sure, I would say be open to spontaneity and look at your daily schedule. Do you have a schedule or do you have a routine? Do you have the flexibility within your day to do that? And read your group. What are the needs of the children within your program? And really looking at that and taking that to heart, and then giving yourself the freedom to do circles in the morning. Maybe you're splitting up your group. Maybe it's one group is inside, one group is outside. Maybe one group is in the morning and one is in the afternoon, or one group is at the park. Giving yourself that flexibility and freedom to do circle when it's right, or group time when it's right.
Thanks for joining us on Map Time, and don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube channel. See you soon.